Do we think rates are going to get to... Do you think rates will we get to 10% or 5% first? You have to pick one extreme. So will interest rates get to 10% or 5% first? Which one? You have to pick one. Will interest rates get to 5% or 10%? You have to pick one.
5.
You think 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 5 too. A lot of people are saying 10% right now. A lot. But I think especially with my thoughts now, we're almost in April 2023, but my thoughts before the Silicon Valley Bank stuff and the banking issues happened, I thought we're going to still stay in that 7% for the next almost 2 years. Mm-hmm. But now I think with what's going on with the banks, when rates are high, their bond yields are low. Yeah. So I think what we saw with Silicon Valley Bank, we could see with multiple banks, a lot of banks. Yeah. Maybe not the Wells Fargo's, Bank of America's, Chase's, but the mid to high level banks. I think we can see that happening more. So I feel like the Feds are going to be encouraged. Jerome Powell is going to be encouraged to lower the rates. So, because who would have thought that we would have this issue with banks? And now we are, a couple of them. So I think because of that, we'll see 5% before we see 10%. Well, why do you think?
I think they're just gonna. There's a lot of instability in the market and lack of liquidity because of the investment strategies that the banks use.
Yeah.
So I think the administration is print money happy.
Yeah.
And they just throw money at the problem and hope that it works.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're going to keep doing. They've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So I think
15 years.
They think that printing more money is going to allow it, and I think with the House changing, that's going to change a little bit. But since they don't have full control of the Fed, the White House, I think they're just going to be. The Fed is going to keep throwing pretty money.
Yeah, kicking the can.
Yeah, and that will, in return, create more inflation. Inflation is going to keep going, and I think they're just going to drop the rates.
Yeah.
Say here's more money, drop the rates. It's going to be cheaper money.
I don't envy the Feds right now because it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you lower rates, it's going to cause inflation to continue going. And then if you keep rates high to try to tame inflation, is what we keep hearing them say, you're causing this recession. And a lot of people are feeling this recession, and it's, nobody really wants to talk about it. I mean, I wouldn't either. But we're definitely, stuff's happening. We're seeing, especially in the tech industry, which is, I think, pretty fascinating, how many layoffs and how quick we're seeing that happen. Tens of thousands, per, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, they're, it's happening quite a bit. But yeah, I also think we'll see 5% before we see 10%. But going on this video podcast, we're going to talk about a couple things. One of them being inventory and, are we seeing multiple offers? Are homes sitting? We're in Orange County, so we'll probably talk specifically Orange County or Southern California. How's our inventory doing right now?
So inventory in Orange County, Riverside, and San Diego, it's really close. So inventory for Orange County is 1.6 months, and for single-family homes and condos, which is not a lot for 4 million people.
Right.
It's pretty crazy, and days on market have expanded from 7 days to about 45, but we don't have enough inventory going into selling season, which is between March and September. And
normally those two are if you have low inventory, your days on market should be low too. That's what we've seen. But that's why this market is so bizarre, because we have super low inventory, and now our days on market are higher than they have been in probably 10 years.
Yeah, and
7 to 10 years, because we know, like, just to put it, 1.7 months of inventory. What that means is in Orange County we normally have 7,000 homes on the market, but as of this morning we had just over 2,100 homes on the market. So that's like extremely low, and that month supply of inventory means it would take, if no new listings come on the market, it would take 1.7 months to fully sell the current months of inventory. And we normally have, what's a normal market? 4 to 5 months?
Like a buyer's market?
Yeah. Or just an average market.
Average market 4 months.
Yeah. So see, that's
nowhere near that. Yeah, in Riverside County has 1.6 months of inventory for single family homes.
Okay.
San Diego has 1.2.
Oh, San Diego.
San Diego on the they call it property. It's like a property sale index, where it takes it's like a meter, right? It meters it whether it's a buyer's market, seller's market. It's on the scale goes from 1 to 100. It's an 85% seller's market, meaning it's a very strong seller's market in San Diego.
Yeah,
and I think what happened is the average in Orange County is $1.2 million for a house, and you go to Riverside, it's over 800,000 now, like 840 or something. You can go to San Diego, it's still like 625, 640.
Really?
So I think what a lot of people from LA, Orange County started moving to Riverside first. Corona blew up.
Yeah, it did.
Now,
dude, I saw
Corona, Chino, Eastville, like those three cities blew up.
They did.
From like 400,000 to now over $1 million.
Seriously.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it really is. Because it used to be
town.
Right, it is. Yeah.
And then those shot up. Now, if you're in Orange County, where else can you go where you can get a home below $1 million?
Yeah.
Or below
North San Diego or inland.
You go to San Diego.
San Diego, yeah.
Then you go to San Diego.
Yeah, that's right. Because you can get property out there too.
So so Carlsbad from here is only 35 minutes, and you can buy homes. You can buy a 4-bedroom house with a pool for $850.
Yeah, that's really
How much is that in Orange County?
Yeah,
in South County.
Double that. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, with a pool, double that. Yeah.
Yeah, so 1.7, 1.8 million. Yeah. But you can be 35 minutes away if you commute and buy it for $850. I mean.
Yeah, that's interesting about San Diego. I wonder why. Yeah, why has I guess the only reason why like that Corona, Eastvale, Cheeto Hills has like maybe scale because it's still closer to LA in Orange County. So I wonder if that because people used to if you couldn't if you didn't want to buy your home in Orange County or condo townhome, you would go to Corona or Riverside to get your single family home for roughly the same price or cheaper. Yeah. But you just have to deal with that commute. So maybe that's why that has been in demand. But now people are just like, well, I don't have to commute, right? I potentially could work from home or I have a hybrid job. So I don't, I could go a little bit further out like San Diego, that North San Diego, Fallbrook, Temecula.
I have a lot of clients that moved to Temecula from here.
That's a good option because Temecula is nice out there.
They were buying 3,000 square foot homes for like 700, 750.
Ah, jeez, man.
Where? Yeah. It's but I mean that.
Yeah, 3,000.
We have one of those that's, let's see, 3,200 square feet for 2.4 in Tustin.
Yeah.
$2.4 million. You go to Temecula, it's $975.
Dang. Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, that is.
I think the issue that we're having in Orange County, and the reason we see the days on the market expand, is because the affordability is not there.
For sure.
Because of the rates.
Yes.
And the prices.
Yeah.
Over the last 3 years, the prices have shot up a lot.
Yeah, and they haven't
16,
come
18%,
down
18%
enough to justify double rates.
No, because in 3 years, I was looking at something that Gary Keller was saying at the family reunion. I think 2019 was 16%, 2020 18, and then 2021 18.8, and then again 2022 it was another like 16%. So when you have that, and then our adjustment so far for the Q4 in Q1 of this year, Q4 last year, Q1 this year, has only been 8%.
Yeah.
But then it went up a lot. 8% on a scale of like 60%, that's nothing.
Yeah, no, seriously. And since 2020, home prices, for single family has probably gone up 40%, maybe more.
At least.
That 2.5 years before now in 2023.
Most of them have doubled.
Yeah, seriously.
our house and other houses, most of them have doubled, which is crazy. So I think that's the reason we're seeing more days on market for the homes, is because with the rates going up, prices being high, it's just an affordability issue.
Yeah, we definitely have, I would agree, we definitely have an affordability issue. Mm-hmm. And affordability it's become unaffordable to, especially for the person who owns a property and then is going to go buy a bigger one or downsize. Those two, it really doesn't, it's hard to make those numbers work, because generally if you've owned a home in the last 5 years, you've refinanced in the last 2 years, and you probably have somewhere in the 3% interest rate. And so now if you are looking to upsize, if you're in our age group or my age group, if you're looking to upsize, you're going to get a 6.5% rate, and you're going to, the price is going to be much more expensive than we're at now. So it basically becomes unaffordable. And I think that's one of the reasons why inventory has consistently stayed low, is because people are just staying. They're waiting and seeing what's going on with this bizarre market. It's unaffordable to make a move right now for most people, and so therefore they're just sitting and not doing too much, and it makes inventory stay low, and it's kind of keeping these prices still kind of high. Prices aren't down 20-30%, but the other bizarre thing is that we are in some properties, we're seeing multiple offers. So especially today, if it's a new listing, it shows well and it's priced just somewhat accurately, I'm seeing multiple offers. There was one property 2 weeks ago, they had 14 offers. And it's been a little bit since we've seen 14 offers. So, that is happening. Are you seeing multiple offers in some of the clients that you're working with?
Yeah, even all the way up to $10 million.
Dang.
Cash. Yeah, so most of our listings have multiple offers that are on the market, which is crazy.
It's exciting.
It's super exciting. So it tells me that the market's moving along. I think people realize that the market is what it is, and they're coming back after 3 months of hibernation. They're coming back to the market. They're like, okay, this is what it's going to be, so we're not going to sit on the sidelines and wait to see what happens. So
right.
Which actually brings me to our second question, or second topic for the day, which is state-funded programs. So
we love those.
Yeah, I know. So California has come up with something super creative, CalHFA.
Yeah.
Where it's basically shared equity. So they're becoming an investor with homeowners to help them afford or just keep up with the affordability issue in California, specifically Southern California. The program's for the entire state. But I think the metro areas are seeing the issue more than others.
Yeah.
So for this state-funded program, what the CalHFA, what they do is they have some income limits, they have credit limits, and other things like that. But all the banks do too. So one of the things that's really good with this one that I personally like, and I think it's genius, is they give you 20% of your purchase price. So for easy math, if you were trying to buy a property for $1 million, they give you $200,000, interest free.
That's nice.
So, for example, if you purchase power, let's say you're a buyer and you're looking to buy a home. Let's say you qualify for $800,000. You're like, oh, I really want a home instead of a condo because my HO is going to be $400, and it's going to be too small, and it's going to be 2 bedrooms. Like, we'd rather get a home and blah blah blah. Great. Well, now this program gives you $200,000 so you can afford a home up to $1 million, where you can go to Anaheim, you can go to Mission Viejo, Lake Forest, you can go to some of the other areas, get a single family home with no HOA or very little HOA.
Right.
The trick with that one, or the condition with that one, is that they give you the 20%, but when you go to sell, 20% of the equity that you build whenever you sell gets paid back to that program.
Got it.
But it's interest free.
And then you get 80% of the gain.
And you get 80% of the gain after
paying back the loan.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Yep. So you never pay the principal, but why would you? It's interest free.
Yeah, you pay the principal when you sell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's basically like having a silent partner that doesn't want
any return. And then the upside,
yeah,
they just want 20% after their principal's paid.
Right.
Okay. So who would that benefit? So it's like, I guess if you're only looking to buy a property for a year or two, or be in a property for a year or two, I don't think, that might not make sense. But if you are going to upsize or downsize and you're going to be in the property for a while, then I think that I think that could make sense. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's great. Here's the other thing. From what I've read and researched, I'm not a lender, so I'm not saying that this is for all the lenders out there. But part of what I've read is that if you buy it and you keep it, let's say in the future you buy a different property, move to a different area, but you keep that as a rental, you're not forced to pay that loan back.
So that would be really cool.
So you can
so it
have
could
a
be your
rental
first
property.
one that maybe you're in it for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Keep that. I wonder if you we definitely should check on the stipulations because I wonder if you could do another conventional loan. Like you could, I wonder if they like limit you to, you have to like refinance out of that or something.
If you refinance out of that, then it gets called.
Well, yes, but I wonder if there's any. Yeah, if you just kept that forever.
If you keep it forever, then who cares?
Maybe they're okay with that
you don't
because
pay it
they
back.
want the gain. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 20%.
You don't pay it back.
Yeah.
That's freaking genius.
That's
an interest-free loan. I mean, who's doing that? I'm not. I mean, I want it. Yeah. What are you willing to do?
Yeah, I know, right,
I need some
right.
money. I want to buy more units.
Yes.
Can you get an interest-free loan?
No, I would. Yeah, I think that's pretty. If you can keep it forever and keep buying property, like buy your primaries and stuff after that.
Yeah.
I think that's.
No, you can.
Yeah, I think that's. I think that's good.
That I know because we researched it yesterday and we talked to our lender, and yes, you can turn that into a rental.
Got it.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you just don't touch the loan. But so you can't. So knowing that, so let's say you keep it forever, you just have to keep that rate. So maybe that's how they're getting you to try not to keep it forever. Is that you have that higher rate, right?
No, you can refinance. So
no,
you can refinance a conventional that you get yourself.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? So let's say
no
you
cash
get
or refi. If you do right in term, you can.
Yeah, but I'm sure that calls back the 20%.
It doesn't. Only cash out refi does, or if you sell.
Really?
Yeah, we looked at that yesterday. Right in
that
term.
doesn't make sense, but okay, that's all the benefits to the buyer.
To lower the rate.
So it doesn't call back the 20% borrowed if you just do a rate refi. Okay, but right, if you pull money out, if you do a financial transaction, then sell it or refund.
Which makes sense. Yeah. So since you have a lot of money, can I get an interest-free loan?
Not interest-free. It'll be. It'll be.
I need to buy a big car.
It'll be 12%. Yeah. Plus a point.
We do 1.2%.
But no, that's good, and we're seeing these government programs. Not only just that, but like I think as the market gets tightened and challenging, government and also the private sector become creative with incentivizing people to transact, right? So like we just a year ago we learned about the 2-1 buy downs, and then there's the 3-1 buy downs, and you can have an artificial. I've had many buyers do that. And was able to get them into homes and make it manageable, and then hopefully down the road within 2 years they can refinance.
I know.
I had a client that just did a 2-1 buy down just in December. So they have two. So they what is that? 23, 24. By the end of 2024, likely rates are going to be lower than they are today. Likely. Yeah. Now they might not, but it's cool to see. Incentives like this, and now this government program with the basically loaning you the down payment and then sharing the equity after the principal's back.
No,
that's cool.
I think it's great. I think it's great that the some of the people in Sacramento are getting involved in this and becoming creative. The issue with that is they don't have a lot of money. I think I think we did the math. I think it was like 2,500 homes.
Because I think they have 300 million is what they're starting out with.
So it's like 2,500 homes. So then, I mean,
that's not that much.
It's not that much.
Yeah.
But the trick is like if you know about it and you're in the market, you should do it. But we also don't know.
I heard that it's up to 20%.
Yeah.
Up to. So I think you apply. And then they tell you, based on who you are and what you do.
Credit, income.
Yeah. I'm sure it's on that or other stuff. They tell you what percentage you are. But hey, if they give you the 20%, then the great thing with that is it takes out that PMI.
Yeah, and there's a risk. Obviously, the risk, you need to lock the rate. If you don't have it locked, you could lose it in escrow.
Dang. Yeah.
So you better lock it.
So right when you get your offer accepted or within
so
a
then
day
there's
or
a
two.
commitment from
because you don't want to go shopping, start making offers, get an escrow, and then oh, sorry, we ran out of the 300 million. Yeah, better luck next time.
But we also don't know if it's a test.
Yeah, and it's both, I think. Yeah, they're testing, and they might do another 100 million or whatever. Who knows where they're getting that money from? But heck, you know what? If it gets buyers that wouldn't have been in the real estate market, or owning a home. And they still get 80% of the upside after that principal's back that they're borrowing. I think that's pretty decent if those are the terms.
Yeah, and of course, and we have so many buyers that qualify for a condo, but they don't want a condo. But it's like that's what you can afford. So I think this bridges that gap. It's like, okay, now it's the time you can get a single family, but you better move before the money runs out.
Yeah,
it's not permanent.
Right. Yeah, so there's that incentives to get up and go kind of thing.
Yep.
So that goes into our last topic that we're going to talk about, which is, and I've seen this for years, where there's a good portion of buyers that avoid homes that need a lot of fixing up and maintenance. Are you seeing that too?
Yeah, I think a lot of consumers are avoiding fixer-uppers.
Yeah,
and I think that's sad. That's unfortunate, because that's when you look at a fixture, and obviously you want to make sure it makes sense, and you get a bid from the contractor to see how much it's going to cost you. But it's one of the ways that you can build wealth faster by not meeting a fit of the work. And a lot of people, because they work 8 to 5 jobs and they have kids and all this stuff. I have kids too, and my wife and I work 8 to 5. So I would say that a lot of people are missing out on good opportunities to get a home under market with equity in it, because you have to do work to it.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, okay, if you like the bones, you like the floor plan,
location,
let's get bids, let's make an offer, let's get bids, let's see how much it's going to cost, then still pursue it, even though it's going to take a little bit of work, but you're going to walk into a property with equity.
Yes.
Versus something that somebody remodeled.
Like you did.
We did, you did, and actually every single property we bought needed that.
Yeah, me too.
So it's a way for you to get into a property with equity right away.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I'm looking at appreciation over time. It's like, well, you can make that happen as long as you're not too picky.
Right.
If you're too picky, you're going to miss out.
And I see that all the time. Like I see two things. Number one, I have to buy my single family home dream home first, my first purchase. Yeah. And then so I see that all the time. And then the second thing I see is I need something to where I can just walk in the turnkey, term. I just walk in, everything is done. I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
And I get that, because there is time and resources and stuff that you have to do. Might as well just finance that into the house purchase. And I don't have to deal with it after. I would say it's less risky buying a home that is already remodeled, because there's less stuff for you to find out as you open up drywall and floors and all that stuff. So that is correct. However, if you can't buy a house and you're in your tunnel vision as to I'm only buying the turnkey property, but you can't afford that, man, you're passing up on a lot of dollars in just value add that you need, adding value to that property. And so I think if you're looking if someone is just a little bit creative, in the sense that they're okay with talking to different contractors and handymen, and just kind of figuring out on themselves, you can be pretty profitable and make a lot of money on the back end if you bought something that needs to be fixed. Because number one, most consumers don't want to buy a property that needs work, so there's less competition. That there's always way more offers on turnkey properties than homes that need remodeling. Generally, we can go back and forth on that, because depending if it's for a flip, but and if you deal with the project, what I found out is floors, paint, and lighting can really transform a house. Every house that I've bought, I've done floors, paint, and lighting, and it just dramatically changed just how you feel as you enter into the property. And so by doing that, man, you can really have a lot of upside on just that forced appreciation. Yep.
Yeah, it won't look like your grandma's house anymore. Yeah, but I think that's a huge opportunity that buyers miss. And part of it is, I think it's our job as real estate professionals to educate our buyers. Now, some people want to learn, some people don't want to learn or listen. And I would say, in my experience, you only make money in real estate when you buy.
Yeah.
Because you cannot time the market when you sell.
Right.
Timing the market. Tell me somebody that timed the market and yeah, I'll give my money to invest. No one can time the market on the exit.
Right.
It's hard. But you can control the purchase.
Yes. Yeah. You do control that. You can influence the sell, but right? Because I mean, we've had sellers put their house on. I've had a couple examples over here where house was on the market right before COVID. COVID happened, and then right. So it's like that. Now it's that extreme, and yes, it is. But I think.
But we don't know. I mean, we don't have any control of the policy they're going to implement.
True, but I think as you said, there's a tremendous opportunity, and your tax bases are lower, and I think also. This is why you should talk to a real estate professional, lean on your realtor for handyman contractors, professionals that can help get that done and give you quotes while you're in escrow or even before you get into escrow. But definitely as you're in escrow.
I would say too, the other thing that I would say is make sure that when you're seeking advice for ownership and investing, make sure the real estate agent you're working with owns the property or has investment properties.
Seriously.
There are so many people that give advice on something they don't do themselves.
Yeah, 80% of realtors don't own real estate.
I would say more than that, probably 90.
Yeah, you're right.
So if you take advice from somebody on investing in real estate or investing in a home, make sure they own some.
Yeah, seriously. 100%, yeah.
How can they explain to you how that works if they don't own it themselves?
Or have gone through that,
Or gone through that process, Yeah,
it's one thing to tell people what to do, but then also to do it yourself, right? It's like
ask the question.
Anybody can give financial advice, but it's like, what are you doing with your money? You know, and it's like, okay, show me that because that's kind of but right, that's very very important. But definitely lean on a realtor who owns real estate, who has real estate for guidance and especially if it's your first project. I think if it's your first purchase, I think it's good to proceed with caution for a home that needs fixing because there are stuff that can go wrong that you might find mold. You might find it's very uncommon, but there's a lot of stuff that you can do if you have a handy realtor that has a lot of connections that you can you can have your contractor have that little like laser that you can see behind the drywall. Like there's little things you can see heat and
infrared camera.
Infrared camera that you can see cool heat. So you can you can basically get almost all that information before you buy. But that's kind of our thoughts on that last one. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
The only thing I would say is I think when people don't buy is because, or they're like, oh, I can, and then 10 years go by and they're like, oh, I can't, prices are too high. Is they're not gonna get cheaper, and I think it's an excuse or a cop-out. Lack of commitment. I think if you're committed to doing something, there are ways that you can do it and get into the game. Once you get into the game of real estate, you can start with a condo or a small single family, or as much as you can afford in a smart way. Get into the game, and then over time you're going to have equity. You can trade that out for other opportunities. But having the excuse of, oh, I can't do it, and then 10, 15 years go by, it was just a lack of commitment. And it's really an excuse, right? So I think if there's a will, there's a way. And then when you lean on experts or people that can help you, then there's going to be a way. And just find those people that are willing to help you get there. And if the person you're working with is not helping you, then get a new one.
That's right.
You're not a tree. Move.
Right. Adjust.
So adjust and keep doing that. But there are so many ways that you can get into it. Even if you have to go to Carlsbad temporarily, if you have to go to Chino or Corona temporarily.
Right.
Most people commute. We commute from RSM.
Yeah.
I drive all the time. I drive everywhere. So I think it just make sure that if you're committed, be committed, and if you're interested, stay interested and be a tenant for the rest of your life.
Right.
And never have any real estate. And when you need long-term care, then you may not have it.
Right.
So, but I would say that's pretty much it. It's just if you're.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is being a tenant sucks, but then also right now buying right now is challenging because of it's costly. There's rates are going to be high. The payment's probably a little bit out of your expectations.
Yeah.
You know, but
So
no matter what you do, it's going to be tough. You know, might as well pay it forward and like pay yourself back and have control over your house payment.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, rents. I don't necessarily think, if I were to guess, I wouldn't think that rents are going to be going down anytime soon. So it's like rents are going to continue going up. So, you know, eventually I have this conversation all the time where your rent is here, the house payment would be here. How many more years until it's that or even higher? And it might just be a 3, 4, 5 years later.
Most cases 2.
Yeah, you know, it might not be that extreme of 5, but, you know, 2 to 4 years until, you know, your rent is going to be what it could have cost to, you know, to own it.
Yeah.
And then 1/3 of your payment, you go to pay off your mortgage, you know, pay off your principal. So,
But my final thought is really just pick your pain. You know, pick your pain of paying a mortgage.
Or paying my mortgage.
Or paying our mortgage,
Yeah.
right? Or paying rent. And when you pay rent, you pay a mortgage. It's just not yours.
Yeah.
So you're going to have either the pain of paying a mortgage temporarily for, let's say, 2 years until you get used to it, or have the regret of not ever buying a house and not having that equity of, you know, in some cases $1 million because you never bought a house 10 years ago. But that was a stupid choice that someone made. And that someone is in the mirror. You know? And that's it. I mean, just pick your pain. I mean, you're going to have pain regardless. You're going to be putting $4,000 a month in rent into the trash can, or you can put that towards something you can potentially sell and make some money on, or leverage to buy more real estate.
So, in closing,
yeah,
pick your pain.
Pick your pain.